Hey, Cronnicossy here. The episode's about to start. I just wanted to clear up a few things right before we begin. Um, First off, we got a PM. I got a PM by Blue Capo saying that he didn't really appreciate what Zyke said about him in the last episode. I just wanted to clear up. Blue Capo didn't really ruin anything for VNO. He voiced exposure for VNO in Attorney Online, which brought a few people who were just kind of there to dick around, but like only for a brief moment. Honestly, we've had worse stuff. Like I think it might have been Dreer who posted us in some image board site. I'm not sure which one, which brought a few trolls, but also brought some good people in. So I exactly what I said in the last podcast. Any exposure is good exposure in my opinion. So take this under your wing if you want to do our advertising campaign for us while we're still doing the update. I don't want to talk about this for too long, but there is an update coming to VNO. It's actually been worked on. It's just very halt and go kind of process because you know how fierce he is. I love the guy. I mean, I'm not going to pressure him into working. I don't have to. That's not his job. He's not obligated. He doesn't need to do anything for anybody. He's doing this out of the kindness of his heart, so he can work at his own pace. But there is, yes, we do have plans. We've made plans, and there's going to be some pretty big changes to 1.4. Some things that are going to make everything a lot more smoother and definitely emphasize role plays. Alright, now about this episode, it was actually supposed to be a two-part episode where it was two interviews with two people, but this one carried on a little too long. Me and Omni, we used to talk a lot, so we still had some chummy chemistry going on. So we ended up surpassing my 30-minute goal into almost a full hour. So this podcast episode is just going to be my interview with him. The next episode is probably going to be my next interview, which is supposed to be with Stone Discord. And then we'll get back to, I think we're going to do AO's history, everything about Attorney Online in another episode, with some guests, new guests, as is the theme, rotating guests. Okay, so I'm going to start the episode now. Enjoy. And that's all I had to say. Alright, hey guys, welcome to the VNO podcast. I believe this might be episode 2 because episode whatever we're talking about, AO in general, is going to be delayed, I think, because everyone's lazy, including myself. Hi, I'm Cronnicossy, Brandon Laverne, and we have a guest here. I want you to introduce yourself.
My name is Omnitroid, and I've played AO for a while, I guess.
Nice. I mean, okay, well, jeez, that's the kind of introduction I actually expected you to give. I just had a feeling. You're such an internet cool guy that I didn't expect anything less.
Right.
You see? Look at this. You guys see this? I'm intimidated by this individual. Alright. So I'm going to start out with... I remember a long time ago when me and you were becoming friends. Because me and you did get very friendly over, well, kind of like during AO, but towards the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that I was weird and mysterious. That was how you described me.
Did I?
You don't remember that?
Not really, no.
I remember I made a test, took a quiz to hand out everyone for laughs about myself, and you're like, how am I supposed to answer this? You're the most mysterious person I know. I'm like, what? I'm not mysterious. Right. So I think it's funny that you say that because I think you're fucking mysterious.
Right. I think what I meant to say was that I don't really know too much about you to answer the quiz.
Well, yeah, it was pretty personal questions, but I think I still think you're a very mysterious individual. But you know what? That makes you cool. The ladies love that. So I'm gonna ask you some questions that I've always wanted to ask you, starting with, how did you even get into AO to begin with? How did you find it? How did you what made you download it? What kept you around? Because towards the later end of it, you didn't seem interested in AO at all, whatsoever.
Yeah, well, starting off, it was in school I needed something to do in class, I guess. So I had Attorney Online, Ace Attorney games on an emulator, and just playing them and just save stating through every single game because I don't care about difficulty or whatever. And at some point I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool, and I started watching YouTube videos about it and about cases and I don't know, random stuff, and I happened to stumble upon one of those really early Fanat and his Russian friends, I guess, derping around in some courtroom, and I was like, oh, it's an online concept. That's pretty interesting, I guess.
So you were already a fan of the Ace Attorney games?
I wouldn't call myself a fan, but I found them in the time. Yeah.
Oh, oh wait, hold on a second. You got cut off. What did you say? You found them what?
I find them interesting, but
Oh,
I've never considered myself a fan particularly.
you know what? It's funny. Me neither. I actually never played a single game. The only thing that actually got me into the show is, and you might know of it, the very popular video series, Turnabout Storm or whatever.
Yeah, right.
The pony one where it's fully voice acted and all that. If you guys haven't seen it, I really recommend checking it out. Even if you're not a fucking brony or whatever, it's really good. But but yeah, no. Okay, so then that was it. You just downloaded it and that was it.
Yeah, well, more or less. That was I actually first when I saw the video, it was actually before the launch of it. So I was like, okay, where's the link to this? Where can I download it? And it just wasn't there. And then launch came around, and some guy posted in the YouTube comment, I think, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. But that was in January 2013.
Hmm.
Uh, but I didn't really start, and that was like, okay, there was one server, public vanilla, okay, boring. And then I sort of quit, and then in May the same year, I got an opportunity to host. I remember, so I was like, yeah, I guess it's cool. So I started hosting the MLM server, which is probably not known by anyone ever because it's well, nobody was there ever. But
Oh wait, I know that server. MLM, was that the one that had like ponies, a little bit of ponies in it?
yes, indeed, and that was also the server that the MLM characters were made for, actually, which are still circulating. I don't understand how, but they still are somehow.
Yeah, you know what? I do remember that. I mean, it was way, way back. I didn't know it was hosted by you though.
It was.
Oh man, I actually didn't go to it. I don't think. I think I went to it like once or twice, but I was like so
Right.
attached to Ashley's at the time. So.
Right. Right.
Oh, what's so funny about that? Those are my
I
buddies.
Ashley is
Oh yeah, no, Ashley's
you know.
hilarious. Oh, don't worry.
I mean the server was a very
Oh yeah,
very
no, the server was very hilarious too. I stayed out of the roleplay server, so don't worry.
a very eccentric place.
Yeah, but doesn't that just sound like someplace I'd be?
Yeah, it does actually.
Before it crumbled and burned. But that's besides the point, Ashley. We're gonna talk about you a different podcast. Um. Okay, so I didn't know you hosted ML, but what do you mean you got the opportunity? Like, what does that mean? Like Fanat literally came to you. He's like, hey asshole, you wanna host a server? And now's your chance.
He didn't come to me ask if I could host, but the thing is, the Tumblr at the time, like Fnat, he wasn't too good at organizing files and providing downloads and such. So he basically had like, okay, here's the client, and then here's the update, and then there's the other update, and you have to combine all of them manually and blah blah blah. And I just took all of them, combined them, and say, hey, here's the full pack. I made a download link, posted it to the forum way back. And then he was like, "Hey guy, Omni, can I use your link on my on the official Tumblr?" I was like, "Yeah, well, why not? I guess." And that's how I first met Fanat as well, which
Mm.
is probably one of the reasons I actually stayed there because I hated cases and I always have, honestly.
Really?
But I can guess.
You hated cases, but yet you watched them on YouTube?
I like cases, as in like the Ace Attorney cases, but the AO cases I could never like. And I didn't watch AO cases. I just watched like Ace Attorney videos, basically, right?
Yeah.
So
Wait, but okay. Well, but what was it about AO's cases that you didn't like? Just the fact that it was always usually so messy and people were dumb and it was never organized?
yeah, more or less. I mean, it seemed silly. It was like just fake, basically. It's like you're
Yeah.
trying to force some kind of premise, and it's like, yeah, okay.
I find that interesting that you don't like AO cases, and that's fine because I never really was a huge fan either. But yet you found the role play that we did at VNO intriguing. I like that. That's very interesting to me.
Most likely because I was playing Blast Blue at the time. Blaze Blue, I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, still, I find that very flattering because role plays can be good if done right. That's my point I'm trying to make here.
Right. I
But
used to, yeah.
no, go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
I used to roleplay a bit actually in a game called Warcraft 3.
Oh yeah.
Played a lot of roleplay maps, like yeah, you probably haven't heard of any of them, but Life of a Peasant and so forth. And I found it very entertaining actually. But that
Yeah.
was way back though.
Yeah, role playing is fun. It just sucks that it's hard to do without like seeming quote cringe unquote or like it's very I don't know, maybe that's just around Fiercey. I don't know. But
Right.
but Well, we'll talk about that kind of stuff later. But all right. So we might as well move on to the next question because I got a lot of that one. What was your
Mm.
favorite server besides any of the ones you've owned?
Um,
Okay, you can be
I,
honest.
I I want to say No Wins Kindergarten. Sorry, Kron, but
Mm, mm.
because it's just a lot of dumb things happened there, and it obviously had the best character in the entire AO. No Wins OC. So
Oh, oh.
that's a big reason for it,
No,
obviously.
you know what? You know what? Honestly, Omni, I can agree with you. I like that server a lot because that was like the first time that I think my like really good characters were hosted, like May, and in my opinion, she's like
Hmm.
still very good. You can argue with me otherwise, but I worked really hard on May.
Mm.
Let's see, and Soul, Kai, and then that was the first server where I was ever actually mod, which is how me and Novane really became friends to begin with. And that's the
Mm.
first time I met Novane. I don't know about you.
Um, yeah, I guess. Yeah. I was more there like after, like not in 2013, more like 14 and onwards, I think,
Hmm.
more or less. Don't remember exactly.
You could talk a little bit louder, by the way. You were perfect before. It's just the autograph is picking up very low.
Right. Okay. I'll
That's
try to speak a bit louder then.
that's perfect. Thank you. Okay, but so yeah, Novane. Okay, that's fine. Honestly, I don't take offense because you visited my server like you visited my server a handful of times, and like honestly, my server wasn't even like around too much for that long either. So don't worry, I won't get mad or anything. It's fine. It's fine.
Right.
But no, actually, I agree with you. Yeah, Novane's was really cool. Okay, well that's about as much as I wanted out of that question. What exactly is your relationship with Fanat?
Well, like I said earlier, I met him because he wanted to use my link because he couldn't combine it himself. I guess I don't know,
But was
but
that
he
it?
just
Like the stop
uh,
there?
huh?
Did it stop there, or was there more?
No. And then it was like it became more and more like I don't know, helping Fnatt to like organizing the vanilla files because they were a total mess.
Hmm.
Making things like for example, Rainbow. Rainbow Dash, you used to be vanilla, still think is vanilla.
Hmm.
Used to have Maya's emote icons, which
Oh.
was pretty, and other like complete derps in the vanilla files. And I was like, okay, Fanat, just let me fix it, okay? And I fixed it, and he was like, yeah, okay, cool. And I sort of helped him in small things like that, and also later with the missing no placeholders in an attempt to remove errors, which didn't quite succeed, but we got somewhere. It removed at least the errors that appeared on character select, which is alright, good enough for me.
Yeah. Because that actually missing nose during or they what they used to be called. I'm so used to the way VNO calls it now. Demo things. If you didn't have a demo thing, you actually wouldn't even be allowed to enter the server, which is actually what halted me from entering a lot of servers to begin with.
Right.
Which sucked. Um,
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting though. It's about an exploit related to that. I can talk about that later though.
Mm. Okay. So then let me ask, what was your relationship with Avion, if you knew him? Because I
Uh,
was certain at one point you guys had contact.
Avion. Let me search a little.
Because I remember there were like chat logs where it was you, it was Avion, it was Fanat, I think on Steam.
Oh yeah. Maybe it was the silly server owner group, whatever that Fanat was in. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember it that well. It's like faintly. Mm. I really don't think I had too much to do with him, honestly.
Okay, no, that's fine. I was just curious. We can move on to the next question from that. Honestly, that's fine. Oh, great. This is gonna be a great question.
Mm.
Uh, hmm. What do you think of Fiercey?
This question makes me smile.
Makes me smile too. Don't worry.
All right. In the beginning, like, all right, a bit of history here. Like before summer 2013, I believe he was given the tools to basically be shown every server on AO. And then he was absolutely one of the main people in the apocalypse of public vanilla in the summer of 2013, where they basically just invaded the server with shows and played Sin and whatnot.
Mm.
I actually wasn't there.
You weren't.
Actually, no, I wanted to be there, but I was actually at the LAN party with a friend that will become relevant later. So I was busy. I was not there. I would love to be there, but I wasn't. But anyways, later off, like especially in fall 2013, AO security was nothing essentially. I mean,
Yeah.
like so Fiercy especially was like he did his own thing. You know, he would go any server, anywhere, do anything, and like yeah, you can't stop me. What are you gonna do? So it was basically the loose cannon of that time. So what do you call it? Shady group later on here.
Oh, well, hold on. Before, isn't that a next question? Hold on.
That's two questions ahead. I guess we can talk more about that. But as of today, back then and also today, I find Fierce an interesting person. That is very like the joke is that me and Fierce could never agree on anything, like literally nothing. That's which is it's basically true, but it's also funny because it's just it just is like that, and that's because he sees things so differently. But I find that a bit interesting as well. We talked a bit about things and how I see this is how this is like, and he's like no, I see it like this because and I find it very interesting actually.
No, that's yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you guys are definitely different. Also, if you can speak up a little bit louder again, I think like I heard like your mic
All right.
got put away. No, but no, I definitely that's the best answer I could have gotten from you, honestly, about that. And that actually leads me to a follow-up question. What the hell? Who gave Fiercy the tools, quote unquote?
I'm
Was
not sure if I should say.
it Alex? I think I've been told it was Alex.
Yes, it was Alex.
Okay, yeah. I think he told me.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Well, what do you mean though? Like, what was your intention? Okay, man, this is just segueing into the fucking rogue. All right, we're talking about the rogue group now. We're skipping three questions. All right, the stupid. All right, hold on. Now let me introduce this from my point of view because I remember did I ever tell you how me and Fiercy met?
I probably heard of it at some point, but forgot.
Okay, so me and Fiercy met when he raided Ashley's server. Now, don't get me wrong. Looking back at it, Ashley's server was ripe for trolling. It was ripe for dank memes because we were all role playing. We were all like, nerds and losers with ponies and stuff like that, or whatever. And he came in. He did this several times. But there was one time in particular that bothered me, where Avion and Tempest, they were both mods at Ashley's. I wasn't. They were both like really like stressed out, especially Avion because I think he has like anxiety or something. So he was like really panicking, and it was making me upset because I was just thinking to myself, I don't want to see my friends feel like this. So I literally went in the server and I was like, hey, fuck face. And I just like cursed Fiercy out. Like I like just like told them off. I told them off. I didn't care if he banned me. I didn't care if he blocked me or muted me or whatever. I was just cursing him, yada 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 yada. And eventually he just said, I find this marshmallow funny because I was playing as Rarity. And, he cooled down. He decided to stop. And then, like, I was like, all right, so who's up for a case? And everyone's like, oh, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, hey, Fiercy, do you want to be in the case? He's like, nah, I'll watch. And then, I don't know, I guess, like, I tried to be nice to him even though I just cursed him out. And I guess, like, eventually, I don't know, he added me on Skype. We were talking. I don't know, I guess we just got along naturally. We're very similar people, me and him. But yeah, so that's why I bring this up, because Fiercy mentioned that rogue group, and some of those tools he gave me later on because we became friends. And I always ask him, where did you get these? And he'd be like, oh, there was a group. I forgot what the fuck he called it. He called it like a name, something cat, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, some shit like that. And he was like, yeah, it consists of yada yada yada, and he kept talking about you. Like I remember when he gave me like some of the tools, he's like, all right, but just make sure this guy doesn't find you. I'm like, what? Who is this guy? He's like Omni. I'm like, oh no, this Omni guy sounds really badass. Oh man, I better run away from him if I see him.
With a good reason.
Oh yeah, totally, good one.
Yeah, well, there is some truth to that, though, but not like that.
Go on.
Well, this group's as I like to consider myself an idealist, and I really hope that this group could be used to sort of keep control or prevent like people from bothering people. Like that was kind of ironic since like Fierce was going around and bothering people in the first place, but we were actually like trying to do something good for AO to actually protect AO because like mods could do nothing when hackers came and it was like blah blah blah. So we tried to keep track of people over multiple servers because at this point we could just get mod on any server obviously and track IPs and get okay, who is this, has he been hacking before, is he, should we talk to him, should we just ban him from every server, like things like that. So yeah, it was certainly like if you had been caught, so to speak, with like messing around with those tools and bothering people, you yeah, I don't know, depends a bit.
Are you saying I may or may not have wanted to break your neck or something? Was that what you were getting at, you fucking mobster boss?
Well, there are multiple or some cases where people have just I don't know, just left AO altogether after we've had with them. But I don't know. It's some of the darker sides, one can say.
Oh boy. Alright, well, I think that's as much juice as we're getting from that orange, because all I can say other than that is, I know that the group consisted of you, Fiercey, Alex, I think actually Ashley, funnily enough, at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
And I believe even you guys were starting to hate on him, I think, if I recall correctly.
I personally didn't, but a lot of other people did. I was like, yeah, whatever. It's not worse than Fiercey, at least, so...
Oh, Zang. No, honestly, Ashley's... I can't wait to talk about him on a different episode. Alright, so that was... What do you think of Fiercey? And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and cross out the stupid group thing that we just discussed. So I'm going to cross that out of the questions. Now, here's my favorite question. Alright. Alright, you ready for this?
Yeah, I am.
Alright, what do you think of me?
Alright.
This is great.
Alright, so... I searched through some Skype logs, and one of the first I don't know, I think it was first contact, like we were in a group or something, and I like saw a message from you that was specifically some kind of lame joke, and then 8 equals D, and that was okay. That's the first impression, I guess. That's okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right. So yeah, you were. Can I say that I perceived you as perverted? Is that are you okay with that? Or
yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not a pervert in real life, but I mean, sure, I guess if you want to say internet sure, whatever. I'll take it. I don't care.
Right, but I guess you're a cool guy.
All right, cool. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. All right, I'm satisfied. And speaking of, you know, I might as well ask a follow-up question because it would be dumb to ask this later. Do you remember how we met? Because I don't remember how we met.
Yes, I do actually. I checked the logs today, and it was specifically, or I don't know if we met before in the group chat, but the first like private Skype conversation we had was about I asked you to make some characters because I heard you do magic with AO characters apparently, and I found these raw files for Pony Phoenix, which was just previously with just still images, but I found the GIFs for it, and I asked, hey, can you make this character proper and make it like look good and stuff? And basically our first contact was just me telling you like, hey, this is bad, you need to improve this, and this, and you just kept making it. I was like, okay, it's good.
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't. Was that really the first time we met, or was that like the first time we met proper?
Proper, probably. I'm not sure about the first time though.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that. I actually completely forgot about that. Those weren't my best characters, but they definitely, I think, came out okay in the end. I'm glad that you asked me to make them because I think somebody needs to do it. And then I think I made Pony Francesca after that.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. All right. Wait, but what do you mean you heard I do like you just heard people say that I made characters or something?
I think I was in Novate or something, and I was like, yeah, Corn makes characters occasionally. Like, yeah, okay, what's the Skype? Corso or something. And I was like, okay.
You water down the hype of your stories in the best way, and I love it.
I don't understand what you mean exactly.
Like, you downplay the excitement of the story, and you just play it so casually. I love it. I love it.
Right.
I'm just, it's a compliment, don't worry.
Okay.
Why did you make me mod of cookies?
Like I read the login, and apparently you, like many others, think that mods have to be super professional people that take themselves super seriously. I'm like, hello, I'm the moderator here. But that's, as I've experienced it, that's not the case. In fact, the people that take themselves the least seriously are best mods because they don't take it as a so seriously. They don't take it as a title. They take it as a responsibility.
So you're
And that's
basically you're comparing mods of cookies right now to Drax's mods of ever, taking things way too seriously, getting emotional and acting upon emotion.
Yeah, I don't want to insult Drax's mods, but
Oh,
that's
don't worry, don't worry. I talk shit about Drax's mods all the time. They're fucking
okay.
shit.
Yeah, yeah. I never agree with Drax's choice of mods, honestly. Um, but yeah. So anyways, mods. A bit more about that. The people, I guess I've experienced this. People who ask to be mod are 99% of the time the worst person to be mod. Like, no, that kind of person is not fit to be mod. No. So every time, like, can I be mod? That's just no. Just no. I would just basically just look at Cookie, like who is acting well, who is being who can have fun but still like know when it's going to fireball out, take responsibility and so forth, and just like, okay, this person is cool. And also have a look at other servers and go, okay, I guess this person could do a good job without taking himself too seriously. Actually,
Okay.
the first mod of Cookie was kicked. Actually, um, no, wait. There was the first mod of Cookie was hired. I was like, okay, you seem like a cool guy. And then he was like, hey, can my friend mod as well? And I was like, okay, why not? And as it turns out, his friend turned out to be one of those guys who were like taking himself way too seriously and
What
just like,
was this
no,
friend trans or whatever?
no, it's not. Trans was never a mod of Cookie, fortunately.
Oh, whoops. I might
Oh
be
my
thinking of
goodness, I could
vanilla.
write a book about trans, by the way, but I guess this episode's not. Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
go on.
yeah. Well, at that point, I learned like, okay, I guess everyone and their friend can't be mod. That just doesn't work. So I started to play more specifically. Yeah, all the mods of Cookie are specifically handpicked and interviewed and so forth. Except for a few exceptions where I actually like know them. Like I talked with them a lot. I'm like, okay, this is good, right?
Okay, fair. I do have like look, if I go to Cookie, and I love how it's still called Cookie Mod Rave Party, by the way. Let's see. All the participants, who would I care to ask about the most? I would ask about Drax, but you know what? Drax does do some decent work, but lately he's been doing literally jack crap. Flamestorm, did you add Flamestorm or was that SD?
I believe I did at some point.
Okay. Is there any reason why?
I don't know. Seemed like a dependable person.
For
Or
sure.
or oh, hold on a second. It might be been because of Drax's request actually.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
quite possible.
Nathan Brooks, I believe, I forgot what his actual name was in
Ah,
game.
yeah. That's Merc. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I'm a little upset that I haven't seen him in VNO. I don't know if it's because he's too busy or what, but I would love to have him around. He's really cool. I always got along with him. I forgot who Dick McSlick even was.
I know he's a cool guy as well. He's like one of the most persistent mods of Cookie. He'd like stayed there even if everyone else left and became inactive and such. He was always there. It's pretty great actually.
Who the fuck added Froststorm?
Froststorm was never in the mod chat. Was
Who the
he
fuck
slash
is
she?
who the fuck is this? It's a he, by the way. There's no such thing as a she.
Right.
No, was it Froststorm or who the hell is Kali parentheses ice cream? I know it was somebody I either didn't like or had a hard time with. I forgot.
Oh, Kelly. It might have been Udgy, perhaps.
Oh, whoops.
I'm not quite sure.
Maybe I'm getting him mixed up with somebody else. Okay, and then there's Rue, which you know what, as fucking hilarious and I don't know what other word to use for to describe Rue. Homosexual, I suppose. He does some good work.
Yes. And actually, the main reason, like, the first thing I noticed about Rue was that he was like honest. Like, I remember his Skype profile was set to England, and time zones were an issue because you wanted like mods in Europe and America, right?
Uh-huh.
And I saw that his Skype profile said Britain, but his IP said Argentina, and I was like, so you live in England? And he was like, oh no, I live in Argentina. It's just that I used to live in England. And it says like, yeah, okay, cool. You're honest, cool. Then I like asked him a bit more, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you seem like you could do a good job, and yeah, he became mod, yeah.
Okay, and then obviously SD because he was very skilled with what he does.
He's very good at what it does, yeah.
Yeah, and I have to figure out what stupid ass questions I want to ask him if I want to passively insult him in this interview.
Why do you want to insult him though?
He's a pain in the butt. He was like begging me for the interview to begin with. He's like, hey, if Omni's getting an interview, I like totally deserve an interview. I'm like, do you? He's like, fucking yes. I'm like, I was like, fucking hell. I was rolling my eyes, but I'm like, you know what? He actually, even if it was inadvertently and to get at Fiercey at the same time, he helped the VNO a lot. So,
Hmm.
I think it's the least I can do is give him an interview. But
Right.
yeah. But okay. What do you think of a VNO?
Um, it's an interesting concept. First off, it takes on like the idea of AO and sort of expands it to something different, both quite literally. The resolution is bigger, but also in terms of features and such. I think. Let's see. What was I going to say about VNO? Yeah, it certainly helped that Fiercey was like one of the like quote unquote hackers on AO, and because then he knew every security fault in AO inside out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I can also mention that he also discovered the character roster exploit I mentioned earlier, which basically consisted of forcing your client to crash on the first page of the character roster because that allowed you to halfway enter without actually being logged in on and appearing on the IP list, which was useful because then you were basically invisible to the mods, right?
Right, right.
So yeah, he definitely like took all those things. Okay, and he said, okay, VNO is not gonna have any of this, and I'm gonna do it differently. I'm gonna have server authentication for mods and so forth, and yeah. So therefore, VNO is like, as far as I know, none of the glaring security holes that AO has or had,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good thing. So good work on that. As of today, I don't know how much further VNO was gotten. I'm not quite sure. I haven't been updated on that for a while, I guess, but.
Okay.
Seems,
Well,
looks
I
like it
mean,
has potential.
would you say that VNO accomplished its goal with being a visual novel lookalike that's made with solely for our role-playing purposes with role-playing tools? In the same way that Attorney Online has, and whether or not you can agree with it or not, has succeeded in having a simulator to make cases and do cases with.
Right. I'm not completely sure about that because I haven't really played a lot of visual novels, but I guess the answer is yes because a visual novel doesn't really need that much to be a visual novel. It just needs chat bubbles and fancy characters, and yeah. Well, I guess it did its job pretty well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, because I meant in terms of like the dice, the inventory, the shop, stuff like that.
Right.
But but okay. No, I'm glad to hear it. Honestly, if you want to know the truth, yes, you're right in the sense that Fiercey knew a lot of those holes. But SD was honestly the one to help out a lot. And whether or not it was indirectly trolling or what, because it was indirectly trolling because he admitted that he loved trolling Fiercey by showing him how flawed his work was. He would eventually, stop and be like, okay, so this is what's wrong. Here's how you fix it, yada yada. And that's where honestly that's why our security is probably perfect right now. Um,
Questionable, but okay.
well, I mean, we haven't had a single problem yet, I don't think.
But then again, there aren't a lot of people there though.
Well, I know. We're waiting for version 1.4 to start advertising.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, as amount of people increase, the chance of something happening increases because some portion of those people in there are probably going to know something about computer security, and at that point, it starts to get dangerous.
No, you're absolutely right. But you know what? At this point, where not a whole lot is happening, we welcome it. Honestly, we need a little bit of excitement, if you ask me.
Really?
That's how I see it, at least. But Fiercey
right.
Fiercey can disagree with me. Honestly,
Right.
I think the biggest wall we have to cross is the whole like acceptance of that 80% of our VNO community is probably going to be weebs and people who like to roleplay and people who are cringy, quote unquote. And I just hope that our staff, and I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, but I hope our staff kind of gets away from that whole making fun of people thing and stuff like that.
All right.
Because it was a problem in the past with certain people, but I just if you want to keep a visual like a big community thing and an image, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, backpatting is a terrible thing, certainly.
Yeah. So I know I sound like a hypocrite because I used to do that at certain points, but I stopped because I realized that shit, people don't like that and they're leaving because of it. So, anyways, to move on to that, what do you think of REO, the Ashley Black's mimic of VNO?
I don't know much about it really. I saw one page of it and I heard like, hey, Ashley's working or something. I was like, oh, okay. I think it could turn out okay. but I think it's been abandoned.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so.
but I mean, if it came with something original, something that made it unique, something that like, hey, this comes with something that makes it different. Like, I'm not quite sure. Maybe like a worldview, or say a system where server hosts could like make their own world. You could walk around it. Something original, something cool, and base them on like um, games that VNO didn't, sort of. So like bring some original concepts there. It could have been okay, but I don't know. I don't think the first impression should be negative. Honestly, I don't think that's gonna lead to any good things. But yeah, I can see how people will be like, oh yeah, this is basically just because it looked a lot like it from what I remember. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't so much that it looked like it. It was so much that a lot of the characters from it were just taken straight from VNO. Like the files were the same name and everything, and it was just like, oh, okay. And
Right.
not that like it was theft or anything, but like it just showed that like there was no care or like dedication or like originality put into it. I don't know. Just like how lazy can you be, basically.
Right.
But okay, that's fine. Actually that what you were just describing, is that something that you wanted VNO to have? Like, cuz I figured when you say world and explanation, it would be the going to different rooms. What did you have in mind exactly?
I was thinking about, say, a game like Link to the Past, where you had like an overview and you had a character walking around on a 2D screen. Something like every server would have its like own world or something that the server creator could make somehow. Something like that, something new. I don't know if wants it. It's a visual novel after all, and visual novels don't have that usually.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. It could have been interesting.
I definitely see where you're going. Basically, it's like a flashier way to show going to different rooms, technically.
Yeah, well, and also you could like chat, like you could have like people in a group and chatting with chat bubbles like over their heads instead of, or I'm not sure,
You know, it's
but I think
funny.
it could have been interesting.
No, you're
Mm.
right, and it's funny that you say that because that was actually our original plan with VNO. It was actually supposed to
Right.
be just like The World Ends with You, if you played that game.
Mm.
Um, but it's basically that's exactly what you're describing, and it sucks that we didn't get to fulfill that image. But all right. But anyways, all right. So moving on from that, how was meeting SD in person?
Ah, nothing special, I guess. We talked about some AO things and some computer security things. More specifically, how we hacked to get the mod pass, which was actually really fascinating how we did. And then I don't know, he smelled like smoke. That's what I remember.
Did you smoke with him?
No, I don't smoke.
So he literally met you. You talked about things you could have talked about online, and he smoked with you, but you didn't
No,
smoke.
I did not smoke with him. He smelled like smoke.
Oh, okay. Did you guys like at least go get dinner or something?
We were at the McDonald's. I offered to buy something. We was like, nah.
Oh, okay.
But I only had half an hour though, so there's
Oh,
just so
okay.
much we could do.
That explains a lot. Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask him the same thing, so don't worry.
Right.
Have you ever had experience with a guy in real life?
A bit too many, honestly.
Wow, I was gonna expect the answer no. Holy shit. Really?
Yes. The most like obvious example is obviously Tail slash Froststorm,
Oh,
which was.
oh,
I mean, it's dumb because like he used to freaking cookie, right? And it was weird because like when the server was like 0 people there, which happened at some weird time zone times, he was like there, like only him as trans, and it was like, and he would identify himself as he, Tail slash, and like okay, cool. And then suddenly, like at some point, it's like suddenly she is Froststorm, and I was like, okay, what the heck? And obviously, like I could call him out, but I was like, what am I gonna gain on that, right?
Hmm.
So I was like, okay. And
Go on. I'm sorry. No, please. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go on.
uh, I don't know. I don't have anything more to say about that specifically right now.
Hmm.
But yeah, but yeah, there was a few. There was also, yeah, I guess I need to list them, but yeah, you know who.
Are you talking about the
No,
one?
no, 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 no. Yeah, this brings bad memories. We could just not, I guess. I don't know. Do you have anything to say about it?
We have a whole podcast episode ready to talk about that stuff. That's gonna be episode
Really?
4, I think. Yeah.
Okay. What's our time at, by the way?
We're at we already exceeded the time, so I don't care anymore. We're almost about to be at 40 minutes.
Right.
So if anything, I'll make SD's interview shittier. I don't know. Um,
Right.
maybe not. But is
Yeah.
there anything else you wanted to say about
Yeah.
girls?
Well, essentially, like I would like just like there's something about behavior that's like stands out like this. I wouldn't be surprised if this girl's turned out to be a guy. You know,
Hmm.
like some people like say for example Cadpig, which was Modern Cookie, it was like legit girl like, and I noticed okay I would be very surprised if this turned out to be a guy. You know,
Yeah.
but then other people were like yeah well okay. And it turned out that they were guys. Like, yeah, well, okay. And even if I knew that they were guys, like, yeah, well, okay. Why should I care, honestly? So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, don't worry. If you want to hear the entire rundown of guys in real life, there will be a whole podcast episode dedicated to that. I will PM it to you when it's up.
Right. Okay.
Don't worry. You can listen to it while you're at work or walking home or something. It'd be great.
Right.
But all right. So moving on from that, do you still identify as a brony, or do you still do anything that is brony-ish? Because you still have a vinyl picture. Vinyl is your favorite pony.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually because of AO, not because of the show. Interestingly enough.
Oh.
Um, but I don't know what a brony was defined as brony. I don't know. I haven't watched the latest. I haven't watched since Princess Spike, I guess, which is like a pretty old. Now it's a
Yeah.
pretty old episode, I guess. But I mean, I would watch it if I get like a good internet connection and some time. I would watch a few episodes easily. I mean, it's a good pastime, certainly. So yeah, I'm not like a blood fan or whatever, but I'd watch it easily.
Okay.
Like
Okay, that's fine. Because you know what? I agree. Like, I wouldn't. I just haven't. I used to be like. I used to wait for it to come on TV. I used to be like a little bit obsessed. I used to be a little try hard in keeping that brony image. But yeah, it's a great show. It's just it's nice to something. It's nice to pass the time with. It's. I wouldn't say mindless, but it's just a show. It's good.
mm,
And that's a good way to describe it. And I find that funny because when I mentioned vinyl, I just remembered. I wanted to know how you felt when I told you that I fucking met the voice of vinyl. That's funny.
I was like, yeah, that's was pretty cool.
It sucks that I couldn't like get to be friends with her. She seemed very off-putting, or what? That's not the word I'm looking. She seemed like she didn't want to be friends with anybody. Like so.
Introverted or
Yeah, I guess so. Like I held a few
uh,
conversations with her, but she eventually is to the point where she just moved to a different seat across the room the next day, and I was like, oh,
ooh, yeah,
okay, all right, no, that's fine. I'm not
yeah,
insulted. It's cool.
yeah. I know people. Yeah, I know a few people like that actually. Yeah,
No, I get it. I get it. Because it's like if the same thing happened to me, if someone was talking to me trying to be my friend, like me personally, like I'm content with the friends I have in real life. So I just kind of like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this, and I just kind of
right,
like ignore the person. I don't know about you,
right,
but I just found that so funny that it actually happened. I was like, yo, the first thing I thought was I gotta tell Omni. I gotta tell Omni right now.
right.
I know.
Yes.
If I became friends with her, I totally would have had her done a thing where she said something about you, dude. I seriously had plans to do that. But unfortunately, she wasn't having it.
Can you just take? Can you just ask her though?
Um, I I don't know where she is now. I'm not going to that college right now anymore.
Right.
But if I could have, I really could have. Like I could have been
Yeah.
annoying and pushy about it, but I didn't want to. But maybe
Yeah. Well, whatever.
if I see her again, maybe.
Yeah.
But okay. What is the dankest meme? You don't have to answer that one.
Now you're getting to the really hard questions, Kron.
You fucker. All right. You can answer it if you want. I literally wrote it at the last second. So.
Goodness gracious. You know what? I I looked up at my music folder the other day, and I was like, yeah, it's Darude Sandstorm.
Oh my god.
Actually, funny thing. 1st of April happened this year, as always, and so it happens that I can tell a little bit about my work actually,
Okay.
a tiny bit. We have these hand scanners, right? That
Mhm.
scan things and do computer things and send data and receive data and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
But basically, there is a way to make them play sound, right?
Okay.
And there's this like podium thing where the what do you call it? Department leaders sit basically, like that manager, whatever. And there's a shelf behind them.
Mhm.
And I basically just downloaded 1 minute delayed Darude Sandstorm, put a play, and just walked away and walked like a distance away and just watch them go like, what the heck is going on?
Oh my
And
god.
the best part, they had no idea how to turn it off, and it was on loop.
You fucker. Oh wow. That's
It was
great.
pretty, it was a pretty great day indeed.
Oh man, that's funny. Okay. We're closing to the end of this, but I still got two more questions. Um, do you plan to return to the community or take part in any of the next big projects? And when I say next big projects, me and Fiercey do have plans for a new something like what you were talking about just before, but more of a game, maybe like an MMO almost. Do you have plans to maybe make some time for that, or are you just going to be busy, or honestly, your answer honestly is fine.
Here comes the interesting part. Well, I probably won't like ever be active playing AO again, and I probably won't ever host a server again because it's just too much. Well, too much yelling at people. Essentially, you just have to tell people like, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do this. You have to stop doing this. You can't. Yeah,
Mhm.
basically like that. And uh, but I can very briefly mention that there has been. I guess there has been in the past, but there is a real chance that VNO 2 might happen. That's very. I'm not going to say too much about that because it's not for certain yet, but it's something that's all right. So basically the about the big projects like next big projects, I've specifically said Thursday if he wants to do something in C++, I'm all for it. Like whatever it is, even if it's just a tiny bit, like as Alex actually mentioned one time, like project experience, like working in code program, like working with others, maybe with like JIT and stuff like that. It's a win-win for everyone, you know. And
Okay.
especially considering next year, I'm actually studying computer science, which will and where program is obviously very relevant. Which so it's be like yeah, well, so yeah, absolutely. If something happens and it's in a sane language, so to speak, or engine, I hear Fnatic is using Unity lately, which sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. At least something. I mean, I'll have more time next year, for sure.
Okay.
I don't know how much yet, but hopefully happen. But yeah, just one more thing about AO 2.0 is like it's been lacking features and broken since day one. Essentially, like evidence, for example, it was never fixed.
Yeah.
Lots of dumb things, like lots of Russian files in the game files, like just lots of dumb things I wanted to fix for a long time. So I might,
Well,
so it might happen.
Well, let me give you a happy thought to think about. Actually, making AO either fixing AO the way it is or just making a new one actually isn't too far off. I can't really say why because Fiercey said not to say anything, but let me just put it to you this way: it is definitely something that can happen in the future.
Right.
But it's funny that you say that because Fierce he did want to make VNO 2.0 also in C++. I think that's what you were getting at before when we got cut off. But he has a lot of things that he wants to do right now. So maybe if you come around and he has a reason not to procrastinate, then we definitely might actually get something done. Because right now he's just enjoying all the stuff he has, which is understandable because he has like a lot of games to play now. Um, but
Right.
um, but okay, that's great. That's excellent. I mean, I can't help personally. I mean, I don't know anything about program, but I'll be there, to help you guys out with, characters or whatever, or
Right.
the work that nobody wants to do, like usual.
No, well, I mean, yeah. Sorry. You,
You said sure. 'Cause you got cut off a bit.
I said sorry because I interrupted you.
Oh no no no. That's all I had to say.
Okay. No. Like what else was about to say? Like game design is like it's three things mainly. It's programming, design, and sound design or sound composition. So yeah, design is definitely an important concept,
Hmm.
and that just goes for just like implementing, like say, eventual files from other games, maybe like
Mm.
things like that. It's like it's an important concept. It's nothing to scoff at.
Okay. Well, are you saying that that's where I would fall in terms of work?
Design, yeah, probably. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know
That's fine. Honestly, that's usually what it
All
comes
right.
down to.
Okay, yeah.
Now for the last and best question. Do you have any questions for me?
uh, hmm, Not really, I guess.
Okay, that's fine. It's honestly that's fine. I was
Right.
just because you. How do I put this? Cause I don't know if you ever had anything you want to ask me, because I know you kept saying that, like we don't really talk to each other. Well, we talk to each other a decent amount, considering that you're always busy. Um, and I know at one time we played Terraria. That's probably the most that we talked, because we had a big Terraria group. But if you always still said that you didn't really know much about me, so I figured I'd take this time to ask me anything you wanted.
And something personal, do you mean, or
Whatever. Yeah, I don't care.
okay? What are you doing this year?
What do you mean, like as far as like my
Like from previous summer to this summer, what are you doing?
like just like what am I doing like in general?
Yeah, well, are you schooling? Are you working? Are you?
That's a very fair question to ask. Honestly, as of late, I've been doing some sort of odd jobs. It's hard to say, and it's not even like that I want to. Like, not too long ago, my female companion, I've already told you about her. She actually asked me to house sit, and she paid me a lot of money to do so. To take care of her dog, her cat, her neighbor's cats, because her neighbor lives downstairs. So like, I got a lot of money for that. I'm house sitting again right now, making a little bit of profit from that. I work. Well, I wouldn't say work, but I got kind of like a thing going on where I run a tournament at a like a game champ or like a store, and I make very little profit from that. But that's always fun. So like it's like little things here and there. Yeah, I'm not going to school because I have a huge bill to pay right now, and
Right.
I'm not going to be able to pay the next bill if I can't get something going. So I'm gonna eventually get a job, stuff like that. How come you asked that though? I'm just curious.
I wanted to ask something, and it was the most generic thing I could think about.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Honestly,
Okay.
so I guess the proper answer would be not a whole lot. Um,
Right.
Mostly just playing DFO.
All right.
but
Uh,
but yeah, that's
yeah.
that's all I had to say, man.
Okay. I want to say one last thing about
Sure.
AO. Actually, interestingly enough, about AO.
Go for it.
Um, it is basically the legacy of AO.
Uh-oh.
It's quite interesting actually because AO, what it was like okay, casing, roleplays, whatever. But what has AO like made cost? And the main thing is I would like to say is VNO. It would. I have my doubts that VNO would be a thing without AO, honestly.
True.
Also, I think it also brought a lot of people together. I saw a
Yes.
lot of like groups, especially in Cookie, like people coming in at the same time and being like, okay, hey, this is cool, guys. And they made a Skype group and they kept together. I know especially one group, there's a cool kids group or whatever,
Mhm.
and they're still playing games and hanging out and doing whatever. So yeah, I think that's really cool that it's actually done something like on a more permanent basis than just being like a case simulator basically. I think that's really interesting, and I'm pretty happy to be at least some part of that.
No, you're absolutely right. That's the best thing you could have said, because you know what? You're right. And because of that, because people are just talking in Skype or whatever, there really isn't really a need for AO or VNO. Seemingly mostly just VNO. But you're definitely right, because it has brought people together. I've met one of my best friends now. A lot of my good friends now from VNO or AO. You're right. You're absolutely right. I met you from AO. I met Fiercey from AO. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I couldn't have put it any better. It's beautiful. It was beautiful, Comley. I'm crying. I'm wiping tears.
It doesn't sound like it.
They're manly tears. But
Right.
but yeah. So I mean, it sucks that you're so busy lately, because I totally wouldn't mind playing like DFO again or Terraria or something like that.
Yeah, right. I am trying to do more can you say productive things lately because I just think it's like I've been wasting a lot of time on these things, and there are fun things to do as well that are productive. I've learned a lot this year, like a
Mhm.
lot.
Mhm.
Two programming languages, German, some Spanish actually,
Ooh.
and accordion. Getting
Oh.
there.
Yeah, yeah. You were telling me about that. And I said that was badass. No, you're absolutely right, and you're the better for doing it. I'm not doing anything particularly interesting, so more power to you, man. I absolutely agree. I'm just saying it just sucks, because I used to like personally I used to like spending that kind of time with you. No homo, but we did have some good fun.
I suppose.
You suppose this motherfucker. All right. No, but I think we've gotten to like 50 something minutes here. Ah, jeez. What am I gonna do for SD's interview?
So I might as well take the last 10 minutes. I'm just kidding.
Nah, I'll keep it all in. I'll just try to. I don't even know what I want to ask SD, man. What am I gonna fucking ask him? I don't fucking know. He better not show up high or drunk or some stupid shit. I swear.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that's all I had to say. I would talk to you more after the podcast, but sadly, I gotta walk the dog and do all that stuff that house sitting entails.
Right.
But hey, it's really great talking to you, man. It's really good catching up.
Right.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Omni, you're too cool for school. Way too cool. All
That's
right.
why I'm working.
Fair enough, man. All right. That'll be the end of this VNO podcast. Omni, I really hope you take it easy. And if you ever get the spare time, please visit VNO or just say hi in one of the Skype groups. Or just say hi to me, I guess.
Right.
All right. Time to